Hey, good morning, everybody. Morning, morning, morning. How we doing? Happy Friday to you all. It is Friday, August 11th, and the market has been selling off for the past 2 days, which is very, very surprising considering what's going on over the past few weeks. So, excuse me, market sell-off on Friday. We'll see how that shapes up because usually Fridays very bullish. So let's see what we got on docket because we had more inflation news with PPI today that put some kind of downside pressure in the overall market. And yesterday's CPI, right? We cannot forget that. Let's recap the CPI quickly, then go over what the PPI numbers were. The odds that the Federal Reserve leaving its current policy rate unchanged has risen after the latest inflation data that showed prices continuing to moderate. So the consumer price index that came out yesterday for the July reading rose about 0.2% as expected, though services inflation remains sticky, driven by elevated rental costs. And following the prints, um, we we saw a decent bit of upside before the remainder of the day was just sell, 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 sell. So overall number came out at 3.2% versus the 3.0% expected. So slightly above average, or sorry, 3.3 versus, I can't remember the number now. Or sorry, 3.2 versus prior 3.0. There we go. So a little hotter than the prior month before that. And then PPI came out today. The US PPI year over year, 0.8% versus 0.7 previous 0.1. Massive, massive pop from that. The US PPI month over month, we had 0.2% expected, 0.3 came out. The core PPI was expected at 2.3% and came out at 2.4%. So decent increases there in the PPI as in comparison to the expectations. So we saw some more downside in the market. I think we're in an area right now where the market is pulling back, but I wouldn't be so confident that we're going to get this massive 10, 30, 40, however many percent pullback you guys think, right? I think like somewhere between 5 and 10 is somewhat normal, or I should say around 3 to 5 is somewhat normal for the S&P, around maybe like 6 to 10 on the NASDAQ realistically, but I think the bottoming out can happen even today. We're in an area, we're going to talk about the plan for the S&P 500 futures, but generally speaking, the market, we're close to a 50-day moving average on a daily basis. We're close to the next massive support based on distribution theory. We're in a low volume area right now. That's why markets are sinking fairly quickly. So I think the downside is somewhat limited if we hold some key areas that I'm going to talk about by the end of this video. But one of the main things that I did want to talk about is automation. So the 2020s, right? Driverless vehicles are set to take the roads, right? A whole generation has a new explanation for the future of mobility, but instead of flowers in their hair, technology is the new love in there. So if you look around, right? The automotive industry is looking to automate, and we've seen AI take over. We've seen pretty much every company getting into it at this point. Um, California regulators, they gave the green light to Alphabet's Waymo, which and General Motors' Cruise to expand the breadth and location of their operations. So the companies, which collectively have more than 500 autonomous vehicles already operating in San Francisco, will be able to take paying passengers without a human safety driver during the day or at night and throughout the entire city. So Waymo will be also permitted to drive in uh, kind of tougher weather as well at speeds of up to 65 miles per hour. So while Cruise is limited to speeds of 35 miles per hour, would you get in the car like that, right? It's like Uber, but no driver. So while we don't yet have the data to judge AVs against the standard that the humans are setting, I do believe that in the potential of this technology to increase safety on the roadway. This is what California's Public Utilities Commissioner John Reynolds said. So the technologies agree, citing the elimination of human error and challenging the inaccessible transportation status quo. So on the other side of the debate were residents as well as police and fire departments frustrated at the potential for traffic incidents, interferences, or job threats to human drivers of Uber or Lyft, so which are also based in San Francisco. It's a fairly expensive endeavor, this that they're taking a hold of. GM has been shelling out about $2 billion a year to make the self-driving dream a reality, hoping to gain a first mover advantage. That's also being sought after by Tesla and Amazon, right? Amazon has Zooks or whatever the hell it is. The strategy is part of the CEO's Mary Barra's plan to double the automation's revenue by 2030. So though its cruise subsidiary only recorded $102 million in revenue last year compared to the $3.3 billion in expenses, regarding Waymo, investing group leader Stone Fox Capital argued that drastic cuts weren't needed after shareholders in November urged the tech giant to slash its losses. So, Alphabet, right? They pump out crazy money. Why not shell some over for some automated driving? Bum. Let's see. We don't really have too much other news. I'm going to talk about the overall market and what we have on the S&P 500 today. I think that today it becomes like a last stand for the bears. It's Friday. We've accepted some distributions to the downside. I think the last real chance on the S&P 500 futures is 44.80 to 82. In that area, if they can't sell from that region, we're going to accept higher, and I think we start that pop maybe even into the weekend, right? I would one auction to get completed so the distribution can get completed down into 44.55-ish on the S&P 100 futures. Hold that distribution and then start rallying. I think if they start selling rallies today, I think the last rally that they're going to have to sell with vigor is going to be 44.82. Right? Anything above that, it gets very dicey for the sellers that might not want to participate in this market. So, with that being said, I hope everyone enjoys their weekend. Hope everyone enjoys Friday. Remember, trade smaller, yada, yada, yada. Check us out at tradeproacademy.com. We're going to be opening our live futures room for our traders right after this. So, thank you and enjoy the weekend, everyone.